All right. So, welcome to the Dads of Adventure podcast. If you're listening on the podcast format, check us out on YouTube at the Dreams Magic Adventure channel. If you're on the YouTube channel, be sure to subscribe and also listen to the podcast, Dads of Adventure podcast. You can also find us on social media at Dads of Adventure on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And be sure to check us out. Check out the website at dadsofadventure.com, where you can sign up for the newsletter and our membership site. We also are on TikTok. So there's not as much stuff on there yet, but who knows? It might be by the time you're listening to this episode. So check it out and like us there as well. And that is about it. We just joined Spotify and just got the notification last week that we are on iHeartRadio now as well. So you can listen to us in a number of places. I have a guest with me today. This is Todd, who is the Disney Rad Dad. Did I get that right?
Yep.
Okay.
That's right.
All right. So I'm going to let Todd tell you a little bit more about his accounts and everything, and in general who he is, and then we'll have a awesome Disney Dads discussion today.
Yeah, man. Hey, thanks for having me on, man. This is a first for me talking to another nerdy Disney dad. So usually we're hiding in the shadows a little bit, but
yeah,
I'm glad that we get to talk about some of our love for Disney and the messed up world that we live in right now. And getting back to Disney is high on our priority list, but how and when we get to do that, what that's going to look like is up in the air still, right? So, yeah, I'm Todd, Disney Rad Dad on Instagram, but lately some of my friends have called me the Disney Sad Dad because I haven't posted anything new because I haven't been to the parks in forever. But I got three boys, Hayden, Chandler, and Addison. They're 16, 15, and 10. And so as I listen to other dad podcasts, I hear pushing strollers and carrying diaper bags and what to take. And I'm past that stage, and I don't have to do that anymore. I have a different adventure every time we go to the parks.
Yeah, I have kind of both sides of the feelings of that. So like getting rid of the stroller is great because then you have a little bit more speed and agility going through there, but also getting rid of the stroller means that you can't put all the stuff hanging off of hooks and
That's true.
underneath and all that stuff. So
Very
I'm torn
true.
on that whether
Yes. And there was a time when the kids were out of the stroller, we continued to take it just to carry the bags and other things. And so, but yeah, I don't miss the stroller days.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we've got the double stroller that when they came out with the new stroller guidelines, it was like an inch wider than it was. So for a little bit, we were a little worried about, okay, are they gonna like shorten the lanes and stuff like that? But it ended up not being a non-issue for everything. It makes it on the boats.
Did they check it? Did they measure, or was it just they just turned a blind eye to it? What was the deal?
Yeah, so a little while ago they came out with like a whole bunch of like stricter stroller requirements.
Yeah, no coolers, no ice.
Yeah, and so they had like an inches guideline as how wide they could be, and ours was like an inch over on that. But they had like little panels that you would ride across, but then they kind of just disappeared into nowhere, and then never was an issue after that. So
yeah.
One of the things I've noticed is that like ours is kind of probably at like the max width for like a like a wheelchair access as well. Yeah. So I think they have to keep that width throughout the parks in terms of accessibility. So that saves us there. I know they were trying to crack down a little bit on like wagons and some things that had a little bit less control to them, I guess. Before that got out of hand, but it again ended up not being an issue. We're still doing there.
Strollers and carriages are the least of Disney's concerns right now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
whatever you bring, you come on in. We want the money.
Yeah. So So I was looking at, I had talked about some questions and things like that. So just kind of going back to give a sense of like who, you know, your kind of Disney background and everything. Um, you were talking about the first, so your first Disney memory. So when was that, and like
Yeah.
did that look like there? And it's okay if you don't give the same answer that.
Oh, it's okay. Yeah, it's hard for me to think back that far.
Hmm.
I guess we went as a kid. We lived in the Midwest for a
Hmm.
long time, and then in 1986, my family we moved to Orlando.
Okay.
Parents still live there, and so I was kind of a young guy when we moved down there. But my first memory, or the thing that stands out in my head right now, is somewhere around the Citrus Terrace or something like that. They sold these little uh, plastic molded cups, kind of like they do now. They're
Hmm.
back now.
Hmm.
But I remember specifically, it was orange and it was the little orange bird and
Hmm.
it had orange drink in it, probably orange Kool-Aid of some
Hmm.
sort. But I remember those, and I remember they had different flavors. They had like a grape flavor cup that had a straw in it, and it was just that plastic. That one was purple molded grapes, and I just remember
Hmm.
carrying those drinks around, and that was like, you know, from my family, that was a souvenir. When you get that cup, that was a
Yep.
souvenir. Just this past year, we were back for food and or maybe Flower Garden, I guess.
Okay.
And sure enough, in Epcot Center, they had the little orange bird sipper cups again.
Hmm.
Uh, and I could not believe it. They were like $16 for this dreamsicle drink, whatever was in it, just this past
Hmm.
year. And I forked over $16 because that memory was in my mind of this
Hmm.
little orange bird sippy cup. And so I was like, man, this is a collector's item. And it's a memory maker. So that thing's sitting in my office high on the shelf right now. And I've been tempted because I've been looking on social media, and people
Hmm.
are selling that cup for like $45.
Oh,
I'm like,
really?
man, that's a moneymaker. I should have bought more, but it was hard enough for me to fork over
Hmm.
16 with a orange slushy drink in it. It was good,
Yeah.
but man, I only got one, and it's sitting now empty. But that's my first memory is carrying those stupid things around, and I can't find them anywhere else. I've always looked on eBay trying to
Hmm.
find them, but I can't find them. But I guess my family, we did the other parks. We did SeaWorld a lot, and it was a little bit cheaper to get into SeaWorld living in
Okay.
Orlando. And I think after my wife and I got married in '98, that's when we started going to Disney a little bit more.
Okay.
And I guess her love for it, my love for it, and just kind of grew. And so that's kind of where we're at now. We live about an hour and a half away from the front gates of Magic Kingdom right now.
Hmm.
And so it's easy to make a trip over there, and we have the season passes now. So we get over there a lot more and make a lot more memories than what that first one was.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
it was a special time to go to Disney back in the late '80s for me.
Yeah. I made it there in 1991. That was my first trip.
Uh-huh.
So um, I my parents just sent me like a um, video VHS tape of that. So I've been like reviewing that, and
Oh my
I
goodness.
I forgot a lot of things. Like I remembered some things, and I was like, man, all this time, like you know, you see all this like vintage Disney World
Yeah,
stuff like out on Instagram or YouTube, and I'm like, man, I wish I could have ridden like X ride, whatever that
sure.
whatever that happens to be. And I realized I did, I
Yeah.
did ride some of those. I just didn't remember it. Um, so, but
Yeah, I love looking
yeah,
back on the old Disney stuff and seeing what's going on at Disney World. They used to have those swans right there in between
mhm,
Tomorrowland and the castle right there in the waterway. I always wish I could have remembered those, but I don't just in those
yeah,
pictures.
yeah. That was one of the things. It was like if I wish I had known that it would mean more to me now to like remember those things
Yeah.
versus just having that experience and moving on from it. Because yeah, there were quite a few things that I um, didn't
Yeah, I think
remember
I
it
think
happened.
I think one of the other things I remember is Mission to Mars as a little
Hmm.
kid. That Mission to Mars ride was just mind blowing, and I remember being terrified getting on the ride, thinking, "Oh my goodness!" And like, I'm 8 years old, I
Yeah.
can't be going into space. But and then it did dawn on me, like I've never seen a rocket go out of this building, and I always thought when I get off this ride this time, I'm gonna stay and watch and see if I see a rocket going up. And
Hmm.
just that, yeah, I mean, it was real. Mission to
Hmm.
Mars was real for me, and so I remember those things, and makes me think now, what do our kids think is real?
Hmm.
Jungle Cruise and all those things. So, yeah, those are some of my earliest memories of Disney, and then man, I remember days of middle school when we did field trips to Epcot.
Hmm.
Remember those? I can't believe we didn't get kicked out of the park as a bunch of ragtag group of boys. The things we did on Horizons, we'd be kicked out of the park and maybe banned for life. The things we were doing on those
Yeah.
rides. So, and every time I ride something like uh, Spaceship Earth or something, I always think of
Hmm.
those days when we would get out of the cars and walk around and like, oh my goodness, how did we not get busted on
Yeah.
this stuff?
I,
It was nuts, man.
I'm the person that would, as soon as I even had the thought, I would get busted. That's
Yeah,
yeah. I'm the one that gets in trouble. So
yeah.
I
I
never even
totally
like
get called
tried
on
those
that.
things. So.
So hopefully Disney's not listening and tracking me down.
I would hope that there's some sort of limitation on that to when they can revoke your pass. So we'll try to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't even want to try.
Yeah. But cool. Um, yeah, and yeah, I mean, I think that yeah, that one of the things that I'm really trying to do now is like when I see something that I think may have a limited time to it, I'm definitely trying to ride it,
Oh
because
yeah.
I know those things are, um, might have a limited time. Like, one of our trips that we went on, I went to, I was like, I think because we live a little bit closer now, but um, we lived about um, probably about 6 hours away. We still had passes, and so we come down quite often. But
Uh-huh.
there was one day where I was just like, I feel like that Ener- Ellen's Energy Adventure
Yeah.
and um, Great Movie Ride are just getting close to.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember if there were rumors out then, but I just had like a feeling we needed to go ride them that day. So we spent, took the time to like, I think we were at Epcot, so we did Ellen's Energy Adventure, and then we went over to Hollywood Studios via the
Movie ride.
Friendship boats to um, make sure we rode that. And sure enough, like the next week, they closed both of them down
Yeah.
and started the renovations for the next attractions,
For the
which
next
I like
ride.
what the new attractions too. So it's hard to argue
Oh
things
sure.
that I missed. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we just recently did that with Spaceship Earth. We
Hmm.
just rode that thinking it was the last time, but
Yeah.
new news saying no, they're not going to do
It
anything
might.
to it
Yeah.
for a while.
We
So
might have a little bit longer.
false alarm
So
on their
yeah.
part. We'll be back.
Yeah.
We'll be on Spaceship Earth.
Nice.
So yeah.
Yeah. Um, One of the things you mentioned in some of the notes here were when asked for your best Disney memory. Can you explain that one a little bit further? I saw a couple things
Which
in
one?
there.
Which one's stuck out?
Yeah, so you mentioned, I don't know if all of these were together or different things, but
Look at.
you mentioned uh, 24 Hours at Disney,
Yes.
Surprise, Animal Kingdom Lodge,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
and Walt Disney World Family Museum.
Yeah, those are three different ones. A few years ago, I guess they were doing some special things at Disney. I can't remember what the celebration was, but it seemed like for 2 years they were doing specials and whatnot. Well, for 2 years in a row, somewhere like in May, they did a 24-hour Disney.
Hmm.
It was open to pass members or pass holders, and I mean, it opened at 6 in the morning, probably I think on a Friday, and it went till 6 o'clock in the morning on Saturday.
Nice.
And do you remember this?
I don't. I
Okay.
didn't get a chance to take
Okay.
advantage of these. Yeah.
So I remember doing this, and we did not do the whole 24 hours. I
Okay.
did not get there at 6 o'clock in the morning. Um, I am sane a little bit, but we got there, maybe 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We drove over after lunch or something.
Okay.
And this was me and my wife, and at that time, probably my 6-year-old. And he was my youngest at that time, probably 4 years ago. And we just did, I mean, Disney didn't close. It
Mhm.
was open till 6 o'clock in the morning. And man, it's something because you get to about 2 o'clock in the morning and it's still pretty packed.
Mhm.
Uh, I remember, I don't know how long Seven Dwarfs Mine Train has been open, but it was about right when they opened that
Okay.
they did this 24 hours. Because I remember at 2 o'clock in the morning, that line was still out to uh, Winnie the Pooh. It was still a
Mhm.
long line for Seven Dwarfs. But it got to 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, and the crowd started to thin out. Of course, you're dead tired. I mean, I was a zombie, but I remember riding. What's the spaceships on top of the Tomorrowland Transit Authority? There, the rockets,
Um,
ships,
yeah. If you hadn't mentioned it,
Astro
I would know
Orbiter,
them. But
Astro Orbiter, Astro
Astro Orbiter.
Orbiter.
Yeah. There you
Yeah.
go.
So we don't ride that one too often, but I
Mhm.
mean, at 5 o'clock in the morning, there's no line. It
Mhm.
was just us. It was like we owned the whole thing. Uh, and ride Astro Orbiter, and literally the sun is coming up in the east, and
Mhm.
just in a position where you'd never see it coming up over the castle.
Mhm.
And it was just a really cool morning. Now driving home after that
Yeah.
was a doozy. That one, and we were only going like 45 minutes away, but man, I remember
Mhm.
my eyes were heavy,
Yes.
heavy going home after all night Disney, and you feel it. You kind of feel sick, like you just pulled an all-nighter.
Mhm.
Not a fun feeling, but yeah, that was kind of cool. They don't do that anymore. They don't do the 24 hours of Disney anymore. But we had a fun time doing that. Yeah, last uh, fall, my wife surprised me. We had spent 2 nights at Animal Kingdom Lodge, and we were checking out on a Saturday because I had to be at work on Sunday.
Mhm.
And she just was not in a hurry to pick up things. And I'm thinking, honey, we got to check out.
Mhm.
Checkout's at 11. She's lollygagging around at the hotel, and I'm like, honey, we gotta check out. She just wasn't in the mood to do it. I'm like, what is going on? Usually, like we're all on board on cleaning up,
Mhm.
and then she said, "Well, Grandma and Grandpa are picking up the kids, and me and you are staying another 5 days." And I was like,
Nice.
whoa. My first thought was like, wait, what about work? What I mean, my mind just thought about all these things, and she surprised us or surprised me for our anniversary. And so we stayed a week there at Animal Kingdom Lodge, which was a lot of fun. And I guess the last one I said greatest Disney memory was one that a lot of people don't get to do. Being from Central Florida,
Mhm.
was 2 years ago. We went out to California and went to San Francisco, and they have the Walt Disney Family Museum there, and just a neat place to go to. All the history of Walt, all the way back as a kid and growing up, and all the way through, the building of the technology, and the steps, and development of Mickey Mouse, and all the characters, and just a great museum. So if you get a chance to go to San
Mhm.
Francisco, check out that family museum. It's in a neat area of town. I think I can't remember the name of the Presidio, I think is what
Yes, the
it's called.
Presidio. Yeah. Yeah.
Presidio. Right there, very close to the Golden Gate Bridge. And have you been out there? Have you seen this?
I have been out to the Presidio for. I used to work with a group that did like marathons and things, and
Okay.
I would staff the events. So I was
Okay.
out like in the Presidio near like the Golden Gate Bridge, like cheering people on for a race
Yeah.
that was out there.
Yeah.
And I don't know not sure when the museum opened, but I don't know if it would have been opened
It's
at
only been
that
open a
time.
few years out
Yeah,
there,
okay,
I believe.
then probably not,
Um,
um, but yeah, I've been out to the Presidio, so yeah,
yeah,
it's pretty neat place.
it's kind of a cool place, and then it's just a building that has this Walt Disney Family Museum in it, and
Mhm.
some movies and nice gift shop and stuff like that. I think we called it on a low day or something, but it was kind of like you had the whole place to yourself and just walk through. It's just kind of cool. Of
Yeah,
course,
I
you
think it
bought the
used to be like
T-shirt.
a military building.
Yeah,
Yeah.
military barracks is
Mhm.
what it looks like.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, those are just some of my highlights on favorite Disney memories, and
Mhm.
I probably got a list a mile long for other ones, but
Yeah,
those ones stand out
yeah,
for sure.
nice. Yeah, the Walt Disney World Family Museum, like, I look forward to heading out there sometime and seeing that. I don't know when we'll do it,
Yeah,
but yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to doing that. Do you? I know you mentioned, in some of the answers here that you listen to a few different Disney podcasts. Do you
yeah.
listen to the Family Museum podcast?
I have. It's
Okay.
not one that I tune into like all the time,
Yeah.
uh, but it was actually after we went out there that I
Okay.
started listening to it. But yeah, that's a
It's fairly new.
good
Yeah.
one.
Nice.
I don't listen to that one all the time though. There's others I'm addicted to
Yeah.
that I catch every week.
Gotcha. Yeah. I was when the part I was listening to was, I really enjoy was they had a lot of like audio clips of like interviews with Walt Disney, and
Yeah,
um, so that was a cool part of some of the material, that, just an example of
yeah.
some of
I
the
love the
material
old
they had.
stuff, man.
Yeah.
I just love that old stuff and just the ingenuity and the forethinking of all that. That's just
Mhm.
impressive. Impressive.
So with Animal Kingdom Lodge, I know that's one of my favorite resorts too. Like, what are some of your favorite things about it?
Oh, Animal Kingdom Lodge.
Yeah.
Well, one, it's just breathtaking to go into the foyer and
Hmm.
the hall. The main hall is always impressive, and of course, we're always like check in and then straight out the back door looking for animals and
Yeah.
zebras, and uh, I think we just love. I mean, it's like a resort that's like none other. I mean, my
Hmm.
wife's trying to get rooms right there now. We can get rooms to other resorts, but it's like Animal Kingdom Lodge is just totally different. We know it's
Hmm.
off the beaten path a little bit, not the easiest to get to or
Hmm.
to get from there to the parks. But with the animals, I mean, I've stayed there and just hung out at the pool all day long. You know, it's just
Hmm.
a fantastic pool. We love that, and just the location, off the beaten path, the animals close by. Uh, we've done the restaurants there, eating. We've done decorating cookies with, and getting to know the cast members
Hmm.
working there. So we've just had a good time at that resort, and just feels special. Feels special staying there to my family, and of course we love the giraffes and the big animals that you don't normally see.
Hmm.
It's always a highlight for us. And I guess we also we like Fort Wilderness
Hmm.
also. That's one that we do every year. Our church gets together and we get about 70 people over there in the
Okay.
fall, and we tear up Fort Wilderness pretty good. At least one loop. It's
Okay.
a a zoo. The loop that we're on is like none other. It's loud. It goes late. And it's up early. And then we go around to the other loops and they're all quiet and everybody's nice and prim and proper. And then you go over to our loop and it's like a refugee camp over there. There's
Yeah.
bikes everywhere and tricycles and ripsticks. Everything's out in the road. And we just have a great time over there. So that's for that reason, that is also one of our favorite resource, I guess you could
Okay.
say, is camping at Fort Wilderness with our church family. We have a good time doing it. We got it coming up in October this year. Everything opens back up, and
Nice.
we have a great time because there, we do park hop and pool hop and
Hmm.
resort hop, ride the monorail and everything. So we have a good time doing that. That's one of our favorites.
Yeah, I love Fort Wilderness. I mean, when I say favorites, like it's hard to say which ones are not my favorites, I guess, is some
Yeah.
in some ways, but Fort Wilderness is definitely like, there's some original Disney, I think, in Fort Wilderness. We had the opportunity to go there like for around 4th of July
Yeah.
last year, and
Now you staying in the tents or the cabins?
we stayed in the cabins. I haven't had a
Okay.
chance to do the camping and the camping loops yet. I've been um, besides going through there to see like Christmas decorations and things
Oh,
like
that's
that.
cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
When we go, it's always the Halloween decorations.
okay. Yeah. Well,
Done,
nice. Yeah. I haven't.
done really nice.
Um, and but yeah, I'd love to do that sometime. I love like, I love the Hoopy Doo review. I love just, I went out early in the morning. We only got like I was trying to get a golf cart there, but we were kind of like too late in that
Yeah.
process, and
Yeah.
I managed to get one finagled for like the last day. So I took it all around and did like video footage of the whole
Oh, yeah.
the whole place to visit all of the areas. And um, one of the things I would definitely recommend it for anybody that's like staying there too is just um, the little boats that are there.
Yeah.
Um, the because it's neat to see like some of the things throughout the waterways and stuff, and it's amazing how far they let you go. Like there's very few areas where you can't like jump on Discovery Island in the middle or
Right. Right.
anything
Right.
like
Right.
that.
They frown upon that.
But talking about you were saying your campground and areas a little bit uh, wilder than the other ones.
Yeah.
That I mean that place was built. I was I read a story somewhere, and then I actually like ran into somebody who um, I was there for like other purposes, but found out that they had like helped build Fort Wilderness.
Okay.
So they, you had like the Contemporary and the Grant and the Polynesian that were being built as like the main two hotels, and then there was like Fort Wilderness was kind of they were building it, but they weren't like putting as much effort into it.
Yeah, sure.
So there was, I forget what the name of the group was called, but like the people that were helping to build it, like they procured materials from some of the other building sites in order to get Fort Wilderness built in time. So there was there was some renegade folks that built it. So there's that spirit in Fort Wilderness to start
Yeah.
with that you're just carrying out, from
Oh, that's
you
what
know.
we do. Yeah, of course, that's what I'm doing.
So,
No, we have had some good adventures over there.
mhm,
We kind of, if you walk far enough, and you can see the old remnants of river country.
mhm,
You dare not go past the fence, but you
mhm,
can at places sneak a peek through the pickets or over stand on a rock and look over. And it's just, I never saw river country
mhm,
when it was functioning. I don't remember it at all, but
mhm.
you can maybe. I mean, they've started some construction back there of the new hotel, or what was
Yeah.
proposed to be the new hotel. But we rode bikes everywhere. Man, uh, it's hot. That's the
Yeah.
problem, though. That's why I asked, did you stay in a cabin
Mhm.
or tented?
In the cabin,
Because
yeah.
July 4th in a tent, and you might bake to death in
Yeah,
a tent.
that's very possible.
It's hot. Man, it's a little warm in October in Florida,
Mhm.
but we have a great time doing that, and riding bikes, throwing footballs, hang out at the pool, play tennis. That's a great resort for us. And the golf carts. If you're going to go to Fort Wilderness, you have to get those golf carts
Yeah.
early, early because they sell out. So I've
Yeah.
never gotten one myself. I've always just rode bikes around.
Okay. Yeah, we yeah, I didn't have bikes with us either, so that was but yeah, that one day on the golf cart was like, yes, that's solidified. I've got to figure, like I've been trying to finagle some way to do it, like get a trailer and like
Yeah,
go get one, like um my wife's parents had one, but then I was like, okay, how can I go there and get that and bring it? But they're just the
yeah,
combination of things did not work out. So
yeah. I understand that.
yeah,
We always just bum a ride from everybody else.
yeah,
It's cheaper that way.
There you go. um, yeah, so it's just yeah. So talking about just being a Disney dad and enjoying some of these things, and um, what are some of the things that you say would define you as a Disney dad?
Well, that's kind of a tough question. My kids probably, I don't think I'm over the crazy line of
Hmm.
going nuts. I did just get a new face mask for when Disney opens,
Hmm.
and I wore it to church the other day, and everybody's like, said that's you, that fits you perfectly, and so I'm kind of known as a Disney lover kind of guy.
Hmm.
Um, and my kids, for Disney Rad Dad, I do take pictures of my kids a lot.
Hmm.
They kind of succumb to it. They don't always want to take pictures, but they do it anyway. And I guess just I've taken day trips with my kids. Maybe one of them doesn't have school one day, so
Hmm.
we'll make a quick trip over just for the day to Disney and just hang out and send pictures back to mom or something like that. Just
Hmm.
wish you were here kind of things. But we do all kinds of things in the parks. We try not to make it boring or
Hmm.
the humdrum. We've done this 1,000 times before. We might go over there and we might get a small snack at the different lands or something. But we always try to keep it a little interesting and new. And my kids love it, and so that helps me love it. Having a 15-year-old and a 16-year-old, I was kind of concerned that they would grow out of it. They kind of,
Hmm.
yeah, let's go to Universal or something like that. But fortunately, they're at the stage where they still love going. I think we don't push them too hard when we go. We just at this
Hmm.
stage where it's very leisurely when we go. Um, I'll give you tips on how we do that in a
Yeah.
second. But no, we just have a good time, and we don't go all day. That's another one of our things. We're
Hmm.
just there in the morning usually until early afternoon. But my office is filled with Disney stuff, kind of like what you have on your back wall there.
Yeah.
Uh, I have all kinds of Disney figurines and pictures and T-shirts and hats and lanyards, all that kind of stuff. And they just call me the Disney Rad Dad, which is kind of cool. So
Nice.
yeah, love making trips. We can make a trip and go to the other parks
Mhm.
around the world. We did California Adventure in Disneyland a couple years ago, which is our first parks outside of Disney World.
Mhm.
Was fantastic, and I think my wife's trying to figure out a way how do we get to Shanghai and I think the easiest one that we're going to try to get to is Paris. And so I'm all for it.
Yep.
Let's try to do it.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
we've had um, been fortunate to go to some of the. Um, we went to Shanghai for 3 hours, and
Three.
and Hong Kong for like a day and a half, and then we
Really?
went back, and then we had 2 trips to Hong Kong.
Okay.
Um, so we went for an adoption trip on both times.
Okay.
But for Shanghai, it was we had made some other tour plans, and we're like, we had already. So my wife surprised me with an anniversary trip prior to um, prior to heading out. So like we went to Los Angeles to like fly out to
Yeah.
China, and like we got to Los Angeles, and I was like unpacking. I'm like, okay, where do we need to take the bags to get them to the right place so we can get
Yeah.
on the next flight? And she's like, no, we're, she had me like look in the bag, and she had like a shirt, for me. And we're going to Disneyland for a couple days. I'm like, yay. Yeah. I didn't really know what to say. Um, she had fooled me that I don't know how she planned it without me knowing about it. I mean, she
Yeah.
plans the trip. So, she does that, but so that's probably why. But yeah, that was so we'd already been there, so we were like debating. We knew we were going to go to like Hong Kong Disney because we were staying nearby. Um, we're gonna on the way out. So we're
Mhm.
like, should we really go to one more Disney park? And we're like, yeah, we should.
Yes, we should. Right.
And but we'd already planned like a excursion that was out like in the opposite direction.
Okay.
multiple hours. So we went and did that, and then we came back. And as we were heading back, we're like, "Yeah, I think we can still do this." So we rushed back to the hotel. We got like food real quick, and then we hopped on the train that went over to Disney Shanghai, and we ran like literally like running across the park to. Um, so we managed to do two attractions, and so we got like a fast pass for Tron, and
Okay.
then ran across the park to on the other side to get on the Pirates ride there, which is like no other Pirates ride
Huh. Uh-huh.
ever. Like is amazing, and um, it and I won't give any of it away because it's but so we rode that, and then like we worked to get back to our Tron fast pass or whatever I forget what it was that it was called, but we like watched the fireworks show as we were coming back across the park, and then rode Tron, and then we had to get back on the train so we didn't get stuck somewhere because the train would
Out in
close at
the
a
right.
certain time, which it ended up doing, and it ended up being fine. We finally found a cab and got back to where we needed to go, but yeah, we definitely pushed it to the limit. Like, go, we got
Was
like
this the
10.
3-hour
Yeah,
part?
that was the 3 hour part. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Did you, so I got to ask, did you pay like full price for?
Yeah, and I'm not sure exactly like how much it was, but it was less. I mean, it was less than like what um, you'd pay for like a park in the States. So
Yeah.
so that was nice.
Okay.
Yeah, it's when you're looking at some of the tickets, like Hong Kong, like hotels are expensive around there, but like Shanghai is a little less. Um, but both of them have like cheaper tickets
Yeah. Okay.
than the parks in the U.S.
Okay.
So um,
Yeah,
but
I would hate to pay for like full price
yeah,
here in Orlando and stay for 3 hours.
yeah,
That wouldn't make much sense. But hey, I mean, it's a
yeah.
one-time trip. You got to do it.
Yeah. No, it was totally worth it for those. I
That's
mean,
cool.
just Pirates. I mean, Tron's awesome, and I look forward to it coming to Magic Kingdom. I'm not sure if it's going to be the same as it is in Shanghai,
Right.
but um, I'm interested to see how long much longer it takes, or if they delayed construction, or what we see, coming up on Tron.
Right.
Um, but yeah, the Pirates. Is just something that um, Disney took, like the Imagineers took like all of their technological skills at the time and like smushed them together into this
Huh.
adventure. So that was cool. Yeah. So I definitely recommend them. My wife's been to Disneyland Paris in addition to that. So,
Okay.
um, but yeah, so we really want to get over to Japan at some point
Yeah.
too. But so we'll see about that. That's I think that's probably like the epitome of the
Yeah.
Imagineering over there.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
um, so I saw it like in when you were talking about um, some of your favorite things, like you mentioned some of the ones in Disneyland. So let's talk about that. Talk about some Disneyland for a little bit, since
Sure.
both of us are more Disney World, it seems,
Yeah. Yeah.
side of
Yeah.
things. But um, so what were your favorite attractions over
So,
in Disneyland, California?
we plan a trip for I guess maybe 2 years. I've always wanted to get out there to the D23,
Hmm.
Anaheim, those conventions. I'd love to do that. Haven't been able to do it yet, but
Yeah.
I did end up with a conference out there. But anyway, that was another trip. But we planned a family vacation to California.
Hmm.
Part of it pivoted around going to Disneyland, and so I think we stayed just down the street, and we went to Disneyland for I think 4 days there in California Adventure,
Hmm.
and had a great time. It's just a different park. I think our favorite rides was definitely if you've done uh, the Space Mountain with
Hmm.
the Star Wars overlay.
Oh yeah.
That one was. of course, all I have ever known is Space Mountain here
Hmm.
at the Magic Kingdom. And so right in that one, just the seating is different.
Yeah.
And then that Star Wars overlay was just fantastic. I couldn't believe it. It was the one that we just wanted to ride over and over
Yeah.
and over again. And so that was a good ride. But one that stands out to me is the Tower of Terror, the new Tower of Terror out there in
Hmm.
California Adventure. It's the Guardians of the Galaxy. Uh,
Yes.
Mission Escape, is it? Uh,
Um,
Mission Breakout. Mission
Mission
Breakout.
Breakout. Yeah. Yep.
And everybody's listening like, no, it's Mission Breakout.
Yep.
You know, they're letting you know. I do the same thing when I'm listening. Um, but man, that is a fantastic, different experience than the
Hmm.
Tower of Terror here at Hollywood Studios. And it was also the first one. It was the first like Tower of Terror experience that my youngest son had ever been on.
Okay.
And so we went on it. You know, as a dad, I'm a little hesitant. Like, man, I mean, after that first drop, if you don't like it, you know, you're
You
stuck.
kind of gotta,
There's
yeah,
no getting off.
you gotta finish it. Yeah.
You got to grin and bear it, you know. And so we wrote it, man, and he thought it was fantastic. He
Hmm.
thought just Guardians of the Galaxy. He loves the movie anyway, and then writing that with Rocket Raccoon and all those guys was just fantastic. We loved it. And then the sad part about that is when we came home and we rode Tower of Terror here,
Hmm.
he just wasn't as thrilled about it as it was out in California Adventure. It was just over the moon for him out there.
Hmm.
And so I love that ride. Those are two of my probably my favorite rides. And if I get to go back, that's one I definitely want to do. You know, when we were out there, some of California Adventure was shut down because they were redoing all the Pixar Pier,
Okay.
and so the I think it's called um, the Incredicoaster. You know, that
Okay.
wasn't
Yeah.
running. That wasn't running. The I'm not even sure the name of the Ferris wheel that was there.
Yeah. I'm blanking on those two.
Everybody's yelling at you right now. You'll hear about it in the comments.
Yep.
Um, the
We.
Ferris wheel,
Yeah.
wheel of whatever, Wonder Wheel. I don't know what it was called, but you know, I've seen it ever since California Adventure has been
Hmm.
open. But it wasn't open. It was like the one chance I had to
Hmm.
go to Disneyland, and it wasn't open. So everything on Paradise Pier or Pixar Pier was closed. So we missed that. Out there, we also missed Pirates of the Caribbean. It was
Hmm.
closed. Um, but everything else, if you've never been to Disneyland, you know, everybody says it's smaller, it's older, you know, it's just not spaced out as well as Magic Kingdom. Well, I took away from it, man. I loved Disneyland.
Hmm.
Um, being a being a Disney World guy,
Hmm.
going out there for the first time, it was just so nostalgic. And I thought, and I could be wrong on this, maybe I just saw it with new eyes. I saw that the attention to detail was just kind of over the top. You know, they really did
Hmm.
detail well out at Disneyland. Smaller park, I didn't notice it being that much smaller, but I guess it is. I mean, obviously it is.
Hmm.
But the Autotopia or the Grand Prix, you know,
Hmm.
they have the Grand Prix. That was a fun ride out there because you kind of go through different things. You got the monorail going right over the top of it. You're going over
Hmm.
the submarines. Just some new stuff, and so we really enjoyed California Adventure and Disneyland. I guess coming back home, you know, my favorites here, obviously Rise of the Resistance. If you've
Hmm.
not been on that yet, I don't know what. I guess you're just waiting for the parks to reopen. But
Yeah.
Rise of the Resistance is just a fantastic ride that we or attraction that we've been on. We love that one. I guess we still love, you know, the old Space Mountain and
Hmm.
Splash Mountain, or the new Princess and the Frog Mountain, or whatever it's going to be called. Thunder Mountain. We just kind of enjoy those rides and attractions. Nothing out of the ordinary there. I guess time
Yeah.
of day, I really enjoy Carousel of Progress
Yeah.
for obvious reasons. Nap, but God forbid if you get stuck on that and you have to listen to the same scene 3 times in a row.
Oh, I haven't done that yet. But,
That's not fun. Um, and then I see up behind you, you got the People Mover. I
hmm.
like riding the People Mover. My family likes that one. we're always riding that one with the hopes that maybe Space Mountain's closed down and the lights are on.
Yeah.
And so we've done that a couple times and seen that, but yeah, I guess we enjoy everything. But I do have a confession to make. I've never been on for the years and years and years that I've been to Disney. I've never been, and I let my wife know this all the time. I've never been to the Hall of Presidents.
Yeah.
So she just doesn't like it, and because of that, I've just never had the opportunity to go in there. So
Okay.
that's also on the back of your wall there. I see you got the Hall of Presidents.
Yep.
Back there. Never been on it, so
Yeah, I mean, there's some things I haven't been on, like the um, the astro orbiters. I haven't been on
uh-huh.
those, and I'm trying to think of. I think that's the main thing I haven't been on, but um, and maybe like a few of the things like in Animal Kingdom, but
Okay,
yeah.
yeah,
So so there's things I haven't done myself, and in Disneyland, you were talking about what was California Screaming, and now is the Incredicoaster being closed. Like, for whatever reason, it never worked out that we could go on it too. We got like
oh,
fast
you've never been on
passes
it?
for it, yeah. So and that it was closed, and the timing just never worked out.
Yeah,
Um,
well, maybe we'll have to go together.
yeah, yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
But um, but yeah, so I agree with you on the attention to detail over in Disneyland, like the
yeah,
food and things like that. Some of the snacks and just all of the. I mean, I think they have like a very specific duty to keep some things like exactly how they were. I mean,
yeah,
I think they changed like the corn dog batter at the corn dog cart at one point, and
okay,
then people wanted it back the way it was, even though like the newer one was, like a fresher version of
yeah,
it. So, which I agree with because they are like the best things ever. But
oh, yeah.
I would probably put that up there with of all time my all time Disney snacks. And you had a couple of them, I think
I
that
do
you.
have some favorite Disney snacks,
Yes.
yes. I tell you what, the last time I went,
Hmm.
just before the quarantine, the last time I went, I was on a challenge with a friend, a diet,
Okay.
and we went to Disney. Word to your audience out there: do not go to Disney on a diet. It's just it's miserable. It stinks to do that because the kids aren't on a diet, and so they're getting whatever they want and
Hmm.
not sharing with me. So that was horrible. But do you have favorite snacks at the parks? I know. I mean, I do.
Yeah.
They're
I would say, I'm always up for a Dole Whip. I like the floats,
yeah.
I think, and um, I like they have like a pineapple upside down cake that they've added recently. So I like that.
Okay.
Um,
Where do you get that at? Where pineapple upside down
at
cake?
the
At
that you have to get in
Sunshine Terrace?
Magic Kingdom, yeah, over in Adventureland.
Okay.
You can get the floats, at the Polynesian, and
Yep.
they're starting to Dole Whips are starting to become a little bit more prolific and show up in more
Yeah, they are.
random
Because everybody
places.
loves them.
But I was trying to think of I had mentioned something recently that um, I can't think of it at the moment.
Yeah.
Most anything that comes out of the Sleepy Hollow refreshments.
Yes.
Oh, my favorite is school bread from Norway.
I do like that.
Yeah.
A nice
So
big round piece of bread, nice and
mhm,
soft and fluffy.
yeah,
Yes. Now
that's like
I
sustenance for
could
me.
probably
So
go
yeah.
land to land on
Hmm.
what I love over there for snacks.
Hmm.
Um, because I could stop at everything and get something. But I think for me, my favorite of all time
Hmm.
is the carrot cake cookie
Hmm.
over in Hollywood Studios. Used to be at the Writer's Nook. Now they've moved it up to the Hollywood and Vine there. The carrot cake cookie, I think it's like $6, and
Hmm.
it's more than you can eat. I love that. Uh, another pretzels, always like a good pretzel. We carry our popcorn bucket to refill $2 popcorn.
Yes,
That is
we're
a
a big
must.
popcorn bucket family.
Yes,
So
that is a must. And it's always like, oh man, should I buy that Millennium Falcon $25 pop? Nah, I never do. I just go with my measly $10 bucket and refill it for $2 every time we go to the park. Uh, that's one thing we like, but it's gone in about 2 blips because
mhm.
all the little hands jumping in there eating popcorn, and of course we drop half of it so,
Yeah.
for the cleaning crew to get. I also my kids love kakigori
Mhm.
back in the Japanese pavilion. Have you had the kakigori before?
The you're talking about the
It's like
um, like snow
it's like
cone.
yeah, like a snow
And
cone
I'm not
shaped.
doing it justice by calling it a snow cone. I know,
I know it's the
but
shape, thinly shaved ice,
yes.
finely shaved ice.
Hmm.
So we love that with the sweet milk is what it's called.
Okay.
And I think pound for pound, dollar for dollar, that's the best value you
Hmm.
can get for a snack because Mickey bars. I'm not sure what they Mickey bars cost nowadays. Probably
Hmm.
6.50. When we come back from quarantine, they're probably gonna be $15. I don't know. But the kakagori was like $6, maybe $5, something like that,
Hmm.
with $1 of sweet milk on it. And man, it lasts. I mean, we can make a kakagori last for about 30 minutes.
There you
So it's just when you sit back there in the Japanese pavilion up the steps, and it's kind of quiet, and you overlook the pavilion, you overlook the waters and stuff like that. And so that's just kind of a cool thing for us.
go. Hmm.
But my boys, they don't want anything but the kakigori. That's
Okay.
it. You get the cherry kakigori with extra, and they pay the dollar extra on top of everything else to get extra sweet milk poured
Okay.
over it. And there was a time they could go back and just say, "Hey, can we get some more sweet milk?" And they give it to you for free. But I guess
Mm.
you got to find the right person to do that. But that's probably one of our favorite. I like the floats also, the Peter Pan float,
Okay.
7 Up or Sprite there,
Those
and
are pretty good.
Friar's
They
Nook.
melt quickly, but
They do melt quickly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That you go back to that Japanese one and it lasts, but you got to eat those floats pretty quick. I always enjoy the mac and cheese with the crumbs on top there too. I don't know. I probably eat too much at the parks, and
yeah.
it's all good.
Yeah, I have been on some diets, but it's more of like the challenge of trying to figure out how to eat there, and I think it sometimes is a little bit easier when you know that you can come back and try some of the things in the future.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep,
I'm not going to be on this diet forever, so
that's
um,
right. Yeah.
but um, but yeah, I would agree with all of those. I always forget about the carrot cake cookie. My wife sometimes gets those like later, yeah, as we're right as about they're about to close and everything, and and I always like, oh, those are really good. I
Yeah,
forget that they
they are
exist.
really, and they're healthy.
They're
It's
delicious.
carrot.
Yeah,
Uh, so, man, win-win.
yeah. How else are you going to get vegetables in a snack,
That's
right?
right. That's right. Exactly.
All right. Um, so, um, so I know we've been talking for a little bit here. So, wanted to get to a couple other topics here that I think go along with things. So, um, you had mentioned some tips for other Disney dads that you would give them, and you also just and this can be two parts here too. But
Okay.
love to hear what um, what you say would make you as a dad outside of like what defines you as a dad um, outside of Disney too.
Outside of Disney.
Because yeah, so
Sure.
um, but either direction you want to go there,
Okay.
so, or both.
Well, for tips for Disney, we've been going so long. I remember our first trip. Well, not our first trip, but a long time ago, after we were first married, and um, we were, my wife was pregnant. We went to Disney after our son was born, and he was 2 weeks old. 2 weeks old, he went to Disney. So
Mm-hmm.
Now he's 16. And so he was there early. My 15-year-old was there in the womb, and he was there early also. And we've been there early and often since then to Disney. But like I said, we're past that stroller stage, and no more diaper bags. Or now, I must say, we did do the not so scary Halloween party,
Mm-hmm.
and we did break out the stroller one more time last year, and we went around and we collected so many bags of candy. We filled up the stroller, and that thing was weighted down. We had, I think, 70 pounds of candy from
Mm-hmm.
Not So Scary. So we did break out the stroller for that. But my tips for dads going to Disney with their family: one, I don't know what this new season of Disney's going to look like.
Mm-hmm.
It's a head scratcher right now for getting reservations, and there's no park hopping and all that stuff. So everything I'm saying, put an asterisk on it, because now we're going to be post COVID, or everything I'm saying is pre-COVID. So, but I think my tips for Disney is we would always be there for rope drop. That was just always, even coming from an hour and a half away, we'd be there for rope drop.
Mm-hmm.
Because one, it's probably about the coolest time of the day that there's going to be at the parks. And also it's quite possibly it's the least amount of people going to be at the parks. And so for the first 2 hours, we hustle. We hustle
Mm-hmm.
at the parks for those first 2 hours, because it's less people. And so you do the dash to splash, or race to space, or something like that. You get there as fast as you can,
Mm-hmm.
and you hit all the big ones. And then after about 2 hours, the crowds start filling in a little bit more. And so it's time then. We just always had our kids, hey, we're going to push. We're not going to stop for pictures. We're not going to stop
Mm-hmm.
for Starbucks. We're going, it's attraction for the first 2 hours. Then after that, my wife, she allows us to put on the brakes, and then
Mm-hmm.
she's the one who pushes us. I can't keep up with her. But then we really slow down, and then
Mm-hmm.
it's like Mickey's Philhar Magic. We do all the dumb stuff: Country Bear Jamboree, Tom Sawyer Island. We do all the stuff that there's no line.
Yeah,
No
love me
queue.
some Tom Sawyer Island. So
What's that?
I love me some Tom Sawyer Island.
Hey,
So,
me too. At the right time of day, I don't rush to get there,
yeah.
but it's something to, after we've gone pretty hard for a couple hours, then it's time to pull back. And then again, we're at this spot though, and I know maybe your listeners, they're going for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
You got to plan different. If it's your first time going, you got to plan differently. And but for me, we've done everything a bazillion times, and so we do the big ones, and then we really tail it back. And usually we're gone from the parks about 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, heading back home. So
Mm-hmm.
that's one of my tips. Another tip that I have, and I think my wife kind of started this one with us, is we take our lunch in. And what we do is we literally pack a lunch of peanut butter and jelly Crustables.
Mm-hmm.
We take those bags of chips. Usually we get a drink there at Pecos Bill. What's the name of that? Is it Pecos Bill?
Yeah.
Pecos Bill, or the one over in Tomorrowland. We usually go in there, get a drink, but we sit down and we have lunch.
Mm-hmm.
Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, maybe some sliced apples that we brought from home, caramel dip, chips, and maybe fruit, something like that. And the reason we do that is because, meals are just so expensive. For a family of
Mm-hmm.
5, when we bring a family of 5, it's going to be $12 a person. You're looking at $60, plus for a meal of a hamburger and French fries
Mm-hmm.
for 5 people. So we've always wanted to spend our money on snacks. So, trying those new things instead of, now it does, it's tempting. You sit down in the restaurants and you see everybody else eating the grilled chicken sandwich,
Mm-hmm.
or the fries, and you're like, man, I wish I had some of those. But knowing that it was cheaper, and then we get to get we just kind of watch our money that way. So we carry our lunch in, and I always dress very light because it is so hot
Mm-hmm.
and humid. The humidity was, it's not the heat, it's the humidity, right? Is that what they say? And so we dress light, wear good shoes, and try not to get too wet on Splash Mountain
Yeah.
because that can ruin your day.
Yep.
So that's kind of my tips for that, uh, for the parks, I guess. We just take it slow, find an air conditioner, and also listen to your kids when they're done. You know, especially when they're littler, when they're fussing, you gotta listen to them. Just
Mm-hmm.
gotta get off the schedule, get off the agenda a little bit, listen to them. Otherwise, somebody's breaking down by the end of the day, and we've all seen that at the parks. And poor little kids, it's hot. It's different than probably most other places in the nation. So families are coming down. It's a different kind of heat.
Yeah.
So, but again, some of that changes after COVID, I guess somehow. You know, I don't know what rope drops looking like, or now you can't just show up anymore. You've got to really pay attention to the guidelines and how to register and sign up and
Mm-hmm.
be where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there. So all that I kind of let my wife handle. I just really show up and do what she tells me to do when she tells me to do it. So all that. As far
Good
as
advice.
dad things, having 3 kids, I try to be a hands-on dad. I work pretty much a lot, just like a lot of dads out there. But when I'm home with my boys and with my wife, and I literally right before we're doing this. It's now 11 o'clock at night. We're posting this or
Mm-hmm.
recording this. From 9 to 10 o'clock tonight, I was playing Exploding Kittens with my youngest.
That
So,
sounds
I'm pretty much when I'm home, I really want to be home
mm-hmm.
with my boys. We're watching TV, watching Disney Plus. We go fishing. For our family, faith is a big thing, and so my boys are very, uh, they love youth ministry and church and stuff like that. So we're part of that. That's a big part of our lives, and so faith is a big thing. But fishing, sports, we play ultimate frisbee a lot. Just spending time with them. I don't know if your house is like mine, Chris. I have a kitchen counter that's
Mm-hmm.
just usually a continual mess. I got during the school year, there's homework all over the place, pencils all over the place, backpacks
Mm-hmm.
everywhere. It's just a mess, And there was a time years ago that I'd kind of get frustrated at it and kind of get on those guys like, man, you got to clean this up. And then I realized, what, one day, and that day is quickly approaching for me. One day that mess won't be there.
Mm-hmm.
That mess is going to be cleaned up, and it's going to be all proper and tidy. It looked like Mary Poppins had been there. But and then the loud and noisy hallways, those hallways are going to be quiet. And I just live in the moment with my boys and with my family, and taking in stride, knowing that I won't always have this blessing in the house.
Mm-hmm.
So one day I'm going to kick them out, and they're going to be on their own. And so I just kind of live in the moment, loving on my kids, letting them know that I love them, and mom loves them, and stuff like that. So that's important for us as a family. Try to raise them right. We discipline, we ground, we do take away their cell phones and car keys and stuff like that. So that's just life as a dad for me. But my wife and I tag team on it. So
Yeah. Well, that sounds like good advice and things that, me as I have younger kids, I think that definitely speaks to some of the things that, I can work on and improve upon, and, look at things in a little bit different light as, they're getting older too. So I appreciate that.
yeah,
And I think that leads directly into the character that you said that you identify with as a Disney character.
yeah.
he mentioned Mufasa. So,
Mufasa,
yeah.
yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, what a great dad. You know, he was a dad who sacrificed, but he was a dad who loved Simba and loved his wife, and or cat's married. I don't know.
Uh, they didn't
Lala.
address
I don't
that
know
in
what was the wife's name.
either
I don't know.
version. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sarabi.
But
Yeah.
so right. Okay. So just trying to train your kids the right way, do the right thing, and I think, and when you watch The Lion King, you know what a tearjerker of a movie that is. Every time I watch it with my kids, I'm like, dad dying. That's never a good thing. You don't want that. But um, just trying to install and teach kids the right thing and be responsible and stuff like that. And so I think Mufasa did that
Yeah.
pretty well. And so that's why, I mean, there's a bazillion dads to emulate in Disney, but hey, I like The Lion King. It's probably the top 4 movies, I guess, for Disney for me.
Okay.
And Mufasa's a good one. Pretty tough guy.
Yeah, I think if we could all live up to being Mufasa, I think we'd be doing pretty well, right?
Yeah,
So.
yeah. Got a kid who looks up to you. I mean, that's what you want, right? As a dad,
Yep.
everything I do, I know that my guys are looking up to me. They might not say that, and
Mm-hmm.
then oftentimes they don't act like it.
Yep.
But I know that one day they are going to leave my house, and they're going to have families of their own, and they're going to they're learning from me.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, there's all kinds of lessons from that and reminders
Yeah,
of
whether you realize it or not, sometimes.
whether you realize it or not. It's caught, not taught
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, and they emulate my comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Their sassiness. I kind of like, hey, that's a little bit too much like me. There, it sounds like me saying that. And it's funny when I say it. It's disrespectful when they say it. So, you know, um, yeah, just teaching the kids, and they get it. They get it, and so it's a joy. Being a dad's a great joy. It's a great honor, and I take a lot of pride in it.
Nice. Well, I don't think we could wrap it up any better than that. So I guess we'll go ahead and wrap things up here. And Todd, I really appreciate you coming on and talking, and we'll have to keep talking some more too. So this
Absolutely,
won't be
man.
the end of the conversation there, but I'll go ahead and if you want to mention your Instagram account
Sure.
and any other places people
Yeah.
can find you as well. So,
I mean, if you just want to see pictures of my goofy kids, it's
yeah.
the Disney Rad Dad on
Yeah.
Instagram. That's it. And
Nice.
just try to post pictures and ask questions on there. That's about it. I do a podcast off and on with one of my coworkers, and it's called Eating Donuts with Todd and Kenny. It's a family ministry podcast. We try to just give family tips and advice on raising kids and in this crazy world that we live in. So Eating Donuts with Todd and Kenny and Disney Rad Dad until I change it to the Disney Sad Dad.
No, let's not do that.
Yeah. Let's not do that.
We'll keep it to the Rad Dad. Yeah.
We'll keep it at that.
Yeah. Well, I think we'll get through. Yeah, I think we'll get through all these changes and everything. So we can still be. We'll still be the happy Disney Rad Happy Dad. Yeah. So.
All right, man. Rad Dad. I'm with it. I'm with it.
Yeah. But yeah, and I'll wrap things up here. Again, for the Dads of Adventure side of things, definitely check out our website where you can join our membership, where you can talk to other dads like us and that share that language and passion for Disney, but also that opens up other conversations for the adventures in life that we're having with our families. And I think that's what it's all about. That tips and tricks, which will probably be edited as we go through and see what the new system looks like in Disney. And you can also find us at Dads of Adventure on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and also check out this pod if you're listening. Check out the podcast and video format at YouTube, at the Dreams Magic Adventure channel and subscribe there. Or you can listen on, if you're watching it, you can listen on your favorite podcast app, Dads of Adventure podcast. And that is about it. And we always wrap up everything with go have an adventure with your family. So thank you again, Todd. And
All right, man. Thanks.
we'll continue to talk from there.
All right. Thanks, man.